Right. I was also talking to some people, and if you look at it, you'll see that I also told you about the charge, which hasn't yet been officiated. But the good thing is, exactly as I have told you today, which is what, 2 days after, you are seeing it now on Crime Watch. And as you can see, there is the post. Crime Watch has actually had to put it out exactly as I told you, meaning to say that this information, I had it. It was given to me after my consultation, trying to see how best things can be worked out. As was explained to me, it is exactly how they've actually listed. Right. There's also another intriguing issue, but the good thing about this issue is I'm very close to. I'm sort of like close to certain people. You build relationships as you go. For me to have a relationship with you, it doesn't mean to say I have to come and support the party that you support. No. But what I consider most is, are you also willing for us to meet on a common ground and then discuss certain issues where advice needs to be given? It's a give and take. I don't change people's opinions. So at the end of the day, there's something that I was told. I'll come to the Traore issue in a minute. Chances are I'll meet Traore. I'll get to see Traore maybe within the next 2-3 days. I think I might be granted the right to see him and then have a word or two, because what he did is something I'd advised him against. But nevertheless, let's come to this now. There's also a platform that I always appear on. If you look at it, you'll see that he had actually posted. But now it's me coming back to him. This is 0.5 Creative. Bam. Let me bring it as it is so that I explain. Blessed Dara was once arrested for giving platform to people that were trying to oust the sitting president, who was Blessed Geza and the crew of the what do you call them, the war veterans. Blessed stayed in prison for quite a number of days. He was in remand. Let me put it that way. He was in remand for quite a number of days, and it started to become sort of like a challenge even to most people. People started to speak out. So what I was hinted is, if you look at 0.5 Creative, he also gave platform to Traore, who was also driving the same narrative that was driven by Blessed Runesugeza. So what I was asked is, what's now the difference between what Blessed Dara Mklang did and what 0.5 Creative did? Also, the other channels that have given a Traore platform. You must also know that your names are somewhat on the board. I want to mention 0.5 Creative because I have a relationship with this young guy. So the rest, I'm not going to be talking about them. I'll talk about him. But let me talk about 0.5 Creative. If you look at Crime Watch, they actually have posted Traore making his presentation on 0.5 Creative. I was asked, what's the difference between what Blessed Dara did with Blessed Runesugeza and what 0.5 Creative did with Traore? I could not see the difference, and I knew exactly where that question was heading. I just had to wait and see while I listened to the explanation that was being given to me. When I got the explanation, I told them the relationship that I had with these young guys, and I actually had to say, let me take this opportunity to apologize on their behalf. I'll take the honors. I will approach them myself when I go back to England. I will approach them myself, explain to them the situation that's on the ground. Because if you're not careful and you ignore some of these things, you'll never know that you are having skeletons in the wardrobe. These are things that if something happens, they can pick up on and bring forth. You know, in politics, most of the time they wait for somebody to make an error, to make a mistake, and then they keep those skeletons in the wardrobe. They can only be brought out when there's a situation that they want to drive. So in that regard, some of these mistakes, we make them out of ignorance, without us knowing. But you know, when a case is about to, when they want to create a case, this is exactly some of the things that they can just pull out. Honestly speaking, consider what Blessed Dara did and consider what Point 5 Creative did. They both gave platform to people who are pushing for the ousting of the sitting president. So whatever charge befell Blessed Dara is also the charge that's most likely to befell Point 5 Creative. But nevertheless, because it has been mentioned way in time, it also gives us room for us to make sure that we discuss with certain players as to what they should allow on their platforms and who they should allow and for what reason. There are some people who are just on platforms giving news pertaining to what's happening. That's not a crime. That's not even an issue. Everyone has got the freedom of speech. But when there is somebody who is aggressively targeting the sitting president and the party, especially with his cronies, I think you definitely have to agree with me. Let's not beat about the bush here. You definitely have to agree with me that they will end up taking it personally. So, this is the situation. I'll be contacting Point 5 Creative and one other player for us to discuss these things so that they understand. Because you know what? People that come on our platforms, at times they just want to clap hands for us. And when we are in trouble, they tend to abandon us. Look at the young guy, Nyoka Mabunu. Very few people are talking about him. Today, today I want to believe he was in court, but nothing was said about him. I was checking on my list of followed YouTubers, but nothing was broadcasted about him, as if nothing happened. You see, you can simply lose significance overnight, while people look for another person who is ready to be a victim. What I'm saying is, don't wait for people so that you just become a victim. When you are in trouble, these people don't come up to try and help you or assist you in whatever way. So we need to be very careful. Politics at this point in time is at a very critical point. So let's not undermine the dangers that come with it. In politics, I don't want to lie, this is African politics. There's elimination. You can say whatever you say, but I'm telling you the truth. In African politics, there is elimination. There's victimization. You saw what happened when the people were trying to gather together for them to, what do they call them? The pressure groups. Let me tell you what's on the pressure groups. Let me forewarn you. You know, I know players in politics. I know players in politics. Let me tell you something. Job Sikala and the team that he was sitting with, me being me and knowing most of the players there, be very careful. There's one who's not with you. I have said it openly. At one point, I wanted to say the name, but I just said, let me keep the name to myself. Amongst yourselves, there's one who's not for you. So whatever you guys are doing, there's somebody who's taking information out from where you are, thinking you are a close circle, making sure that he gives it out. So be prepared for the dangers that will come within that group. I have forewarned you for you to be forearmed. This I will refer to one day when I tell you